Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're taking a look at a really cool framework drawn directly from the architect of mini missions. We're going to learn exactly how to conquer those looming, intimidating projects without all the usual stress. So if you've ever felt completely paralyzed by a massive long-term task, well, you're in the right place. This explainer is going to completely rewire how you approach your work using a structured visual blueprint. It honestly makes getting things done so much more efficient. We're going to transform how you manage your time. So let's just jump right in.
Section 1. Meet the overwhelming monster.
Before we can actually solve the problem of complex goals, we really have to acknowledge that shared anxiety we all feel when a massive deadline suddenly drops right onto our desks. Ever stared down a massive project? Just try to recall that highly specific feeling of absolute dread. You get an assignment, maybe it's a huge academic paper, or even a massive household overhaul, and your brain mistakenly tries to process completing the entire thing, all at once. You look at the final goal, and instead of seeing stepping stones, you just see a giant, impossible wall blocking your path. Our source material actually has a brilliant name for this exact phenomenon, the overwhelming monster. It's that acute feeling of panic and paralysis that happens when you try to tackle a massive long-term project in just a single sitting. And it feels incredibly scary because trying to do it all at once is, well, practically impossible, and your brain knows it. Okay, let's dive into this, because now that we've validated exactly what this anxiety is and where it comes from, we can pivot toward the framework that actually slays this monster once and for all. Section 2. The Mini Mission Framework. Right, so here is where we're going to completely shift your mindset away from dread and paralysis and move you toward total empowerment and actionable control. We really need to make a course shift here. Instead of that scary, intimidating, overwhelming monster that demands everything from you right this second, trying to do it all at once, contrast that with the project map. Our sources describe the project map as an engaging, step-by-step treasure hunt. So instead of one giant monster staring you down, your project becomes a structured series of clues and steps leading smoothly right to your finished goal. This brilliant reframe, it literally changes absolutely everything about how we perceive our workload. The crucial point is summarized perfectly in this quote straight from the Mini Mission Blueprint for Project Success. It says, simplify intimidating long-term projects by transforming them into a series of manageable daily tasks. I mean, that is the entire core philosophy right there. You absolutely must deconstruct complex goals into actionable segments. By breaking down the big picture, the source emphasizes that you can actually maintain your momentum day after day without experiencing significant stress. It literally turns an impossible mountain into a very simple daily staircase. Section 3. Tools for Project Success. So, now that we firmly understand the philosophy of the project map, we need to look at the specific physical tools and mental strategies required to build it out and ensure brilliant time management. Enter backward planning. This is the strategic method of starting at your final due date and working your way backward to divide a large objective into smaller, measurable segments. And what's really interesting about this concept is how it completely reverses our normal everyday approach to deadlines. Usually, we start from today and just kind of wildly guess how fast we need to work as we stumble forward. But backward planning anchors you to reality. You lock in the finish line first, and then methodically build the path backward to exactly where you are right now. Let's ground this theory in a concrete academic example provided directly by the source material. Here's the challenge. You have a 150-page book report, and it's due in exactly 10 days. Now, if you look at that as an overwhelming monster, reading 150 pages sounds like a total nightmare. You might just procrastinate until day 9 and then try to frantically read it all in a panic, right? We've all been there. But what happens if we apply backward planning? You get the magic number, 15. If you take that final goal of 150 pages and divide it by your 10 days, the math plainly tells you that you only need to read a highly manageable 15 pages a night. Suddenly, the monster just vanishes. Reading 15 pages isn't a massive project. It's just a tiny, nightly assignment. It's completely achievable. That is the incredible power of backward planning in action. But how do we actually track these segments? Well, that brings us to what the sources call sticky note magic. First, the guide advocates putting each individual step, like reading those 15 pages, on a single sticky note. Second, doing this gives you ultimate flexibility in your schedule. Third, if a task simply takes longer than you thought it would, the note is easily movable. You just peel it off, shift it to the next day without ruining your whole plan. And finally, it visually tracks your progress as those deadlines approach. This tactile visual aid lets you see your momentum building in real time, completely removing the anxiety from time management.
Section 4. Your daily action plan.
Now we're going to look at exactly how to apply this blueprint to your everyday life so you can start seeing results immediately. To cure those lingering feelings of overwhelm right now, the source prescribes a very specific daily activity called the mini mission list. You don't need complicated software to achieve project success. The mini mission list is simply about taking the concepts of backward planning and sticky note magic and distilling them down into what you are going to execute today. Let's see how this builds into practical daily application. Okay, so here is your new daily routine. Step 1, take a big goal. Our source uses the fantastic, everyday example of cleaning a messy room. I mean, that's a classic overwhelming monster for a lot of us, right? Step 2, write out 3 tiny steps to do today. Maybe your sticky notes just say, pick up the laundry, empty the trash, and make the bed. And that's it. This proves that this mini mission framework works for absolutely everything, from complex academic work to basic household chores. It empowers you to deconstruct any complex goal into actionable steps for highly efficient time management. As we wrap up the explainer today, I really want to leave you with a question to think about. What is the one overwhelming monster in your life right now? And what will your very first mini mission be tonight? Seriously, don't let that big project paralyze you for one more minute. Break it down, map it out, and take that first tiny step. Thank you so much for joining us to deconstruct these amazing concepts, and I'm super eager for you to explore more of our explainers very soon.